So the word confidence that we've been using the past couple of weeks actually means with faith. Fidere. So confidence means that to do something with confidence means that we have to have faith that we are able to do something. In the book of Hebrews in the Bible, chapter 11, it talks a lot about people who had confidence, people in our biblical narrative who had confidence, who were able to do big things because of their faith. They were able to make a difference in the world because of their faith, because they had confidence. So in the book of Hebrews, this is how it goes. Chapter 11, it says, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance of what we do not see." And this is what the history of our faith was accounted for. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what was seen was made out of what was invisible. By faith, Abel brought God a better offering than Cain did, and by faith he was commended as righteous, and God spoke well of his offerings. By faith, Enoch was taken from this life so that he did not experience death. And without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that God exists and that God rewards those who seek him. It continues, it says, "By faith, Noah was warned about things that were not yet seen, and he built an ark to save his family. And by faith, Abraham, he was called to go to a place where he would later receive his inheritance. So he obeyed and went even though he didn't know where it was going." The author of Hebrews just keeps going on and on and on about what all of these people did by faith, in confidence of their faith. And it's really amazing if you look back into history and see what people do about their faith, what people did to make a difference, to make their mark on this world. And so this week on the Daily Dose, we're going to get a little personal with you. The team and I, we want to share some stories with you of people who made a difference in our own personal lives. People who, by their faith, by their confidence in what God is doing, shaped and formed me and the rest of the Calvary staff. When I think about the person in my life who had made probably the biggest difference in my faith life, I'm very lucky. There's so many people that have done this, almost too many to count. But I think growing up, the biggest faith influence in my life was my mom. My mom was a faithful Christian woman, and she made sure that we had dinner prayers and bedtime prayers. She read her Bible faithfully, and she participated in Bible studies and taught Sunday school and served on committees and did all the things that you could possibly a Christian mom would do. But what I really think made all the difference wasn't actually all that stuff, wasn't all the bedtime prayers or the serving on the funeral committee. I think all the difference that she made for me was what I would call God spotting. It's like my mom, she could just see or sense God's presence in basically everything. She'd hear a song on the radio and she'd say, "Hey, kids, that's God. That's the song. That's the message I just needed to hear." Or she'd point out a bird in a nest and she'd say, "Oh, kids, God, that is God's reminder that I needed to hear today." For my mom, there were no such thing as coincidences, only God working in and through all things at all times. What her faith did was to help me believe and see these things in my own life. I'll give you an example, and it might sound silly. I'll be vulnerable with you a little bit today. But this weekend, I got to preach at Calvary at the Lake and here at our traditional worship service. And so yesterday was Sunday, and I woke up early like I do on Sunday mornings so that I can be on my A game by the time I get to church. And I was drinking my coffee in the morning, and I looked out the window to see the trees in my backyard. And the sun was peeking through just a little hole in the trees as it was rising, and it made the form of a cross just beautifully there. And immediately I thought, "Oh, hey, God." And the reason I do that is because my mom taught me to think that way. On my drive to work yesterday, I had a rainbow right in the middle of my path, and I thought, "Oh, hey God, this is going to be a great Sunday." When I got to church, I checked on my phone, and I always read the Bible verse of the day on the Bible app, and it was the same Bible verse that I was using in my message yesterday morning. I thought, "Hey God, all right, we're doing something here." And then I came up to my office here at church, and I was all alone in the church, and Nolan had left the schedule of the service available for me on my desk with the songs that he had chosen to be part of the message. And so the song, the hymn of the day, which is the song that comes right after the sermon on Sunday morning, that song was Softly and Tenderly, Jesus is Calling, which was one of my mom's very favorite songs. So much so that she had that sung at her funeral. And again, I was like, hey, God. I think my mom, she taught me to see these things that happen not as random, but as connections of the God of the universe, always reaching, always loving, always present, always reminding me that God is right there. Hey, God, my God spotting mom. You see, all these things that she taught me, this is probably the one that has made the biggest difference. So here's my question for you today. Who has made a difference in your life through faith, with confidence that they were teaching something? So join us this week on The Daily Dose, and we're going to tell you stories about people who've made a difference in our lives and how they did it. And we hope that it will inspire you to go make a difference in other people's life, like my mom made to mine. So you'll hear stories from the Calvary staff this week. We're excited to share this with you. If you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube, I want to invite you to share and subscribe. If you're joining us on cable access, thanks for joining us. Be here with us tomorrow as we talk more about those people who made a difference.